Hey everybody, welcome back to DMP for That's My Podcast. It's Alex. I don't have any other guest here with me today, but I really just wanted to get into a topic that has always been a big thing for me, but also something that I'm just now recently feeling confident in, and that's going to be my workout journey. I feel like a lot of people can struggle on this topic. I don't know, I feel like sometimes with working out, there's so many different gyms to choose from. There's so many different workouts. I feel like it's constantly on social media. And sometimes I feel like what you see on social media can affect your confidence in the gym. Sometimes I feel like it can really help. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to talk about it and see y'all's thoughts as well. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to get into how I feel like I've gotten into a good place, and maybe that'll be able to help anybody that is struggling with something like this. First of all, I wanted to start out with working out. I don't feel like you need to have this crazy transformation in your head every time you begin to start working out regularly. Healthiness should be everybody's top priority. I don't feel like you should always be constantly thinking about oh, I want to lose this much weight. This is my goal weight. Oh, I need to look like this, or I need to, I need to grow this part of my body, or I need to lose more weight on this part of my body. Just different things like that. I think that can be a good motivator, but I don't feel like that should be the only reason why you're working out. You should always think about working out as a way to help you live longer, be healthier. It affects your mindset too, and your thought process throughout that day as well. And I kind of touched base on that whenever it was the seasonal depression, talking about how, just physical activity in general can help you. But yeah, working out has so many different pluses. There's way more pros than cons to working out, especially if you're going to be working out safely in a way that's really good for your body. So pretty much I just wanted to go into that and talk to you all about how I kind of started and to where I am now. Growing up, I was always a really active kid. I was very much a tomboy, which I don't know if any other girls can relate to that, but I was always people wanted to go play inside, or sit and watch movies and stuff like that, and legit it was getting to the point where it was uncool for me to want to go play basketball or football or kickball or ride my bike or whatever, just go exploring around the street, because you can't go super far whenever you're so young. But I always enjoyed being outside and just being active. I was always trying to, I don't know, I'm a very competitive person. A lot of people can vouch for me on that one, and honestly it's something that I feel I need to work on, because sometimes I feel it gets in my way where I'm always trying to I think something's a competition when it's really not. But I was always super competitive at school, in gym class. You already knew. I was trying to be the top 3 for running the mile. I was trying to always win if there was a team. Dodgeball, oh man, I was always trash, but I tried, man. But anyways, yeah, I remember working at McDonald's, and I didn't want to gain a bunch of weight, but also it was just a time where I was dealing with a lot of family issues as well. And so I was you know what, I talk to my friends. We've got that Nike Run app, and I remember we would have competitions with each other, okay, who can run the most miles for the week, different stuff like that. It's it makes it fun, but it was just a way for me to stay active and clear my mind, not always be thinking about, I don't know, I think working out sometimes helps you tap into either a different part of yourself, and it also takes you away almost in a positive way from your life. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think sometimes you can get lost in your phone or a TV show, or when you're driving, even sometimes I feel you can start focusing on something else, and I think in some type of ways it can be negative depending on what you're looking at. But I think working out, it can be something positive. You're not thinking about all the stress throughout your day or what you have to do it helps you be in the moment right there of like, okay, I need to get this last rep in. Like, I need to prove to myself that I can do this, or like, I need to push myself. And if you are thinking about stress, I think like a good way to make that something positive is by, if you are working out, you know, like, and you're thinking of think about the stresses of the day. Something that I kind of learned with yoga is that you can kind of think about it, and as you're thinking about it, you know, like, let it out, push it out of you, like, make that little grunt noise, you know, whenever you're about to do like a set, if that's what you're thinking about, or like if you're doing yoga or something like that, you know, like when you're doing your breathe in, make sure you're breathing that negativity out. But that was kind of like off topic, I guess, in a sense, but I feel like that's like a really good point. But yeah, I used to have like the Nike Run app. I really took that serious. I was running every day. I was trying to get back to like my 6-minute run from 6th grade. But I think I got down to like 7 minutes. I don't think I ever got to 6, but that is kind of a goal. I'm trying to train like for a half marathon, which I have no idea, man, because I got asthma. I don't know I think running helps my asthma. Like, once I've started doing it for a minute, but at first it is tough. So like, if I take like those times off and like have periods where I'm not running, it's like starting over again. But anyways, like, other than running, we had a fitness center growing up at my apartment complex, and so like my parents let me go there by myself eventually, because it was literally like maybe the equivalent of like a block from my apartment. So I would walk in there and like have the key, and like, you know, it was a locked fitness center, and so I'd go in there, you know, like they had the basics, the treadmill, the elliptical, like workout like equipment, like the one that's like 4-sided where you can do like the tricep dips and you can do lat pull downs, different. And then there's one where it's like the leg extensions. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like not necessarily lost on how to use them or anything like that, but I like to mess around. And so I didn't necessarily take my fitness center growing up like as something serious, but it was more of just like releasing energy and releasing any type of like bottled up feeling. And I also had like a friend that she was older than me, but she was like really good, like had a really good workout routine. She was good at budgeting. I don't know. She was like, I was like maybe 16 or 15, and this person was maybe like in her like later 20s at the time. And so like she was like a real adult, and I was like a little kid practically in our habits. And so it was just like, it was nice to be able to learn those. Like, she taught me lots of tips and tricks, and I appreciate her so much for doing that. But she also really helped me in the gym. It was the first time that I realized like, oh, I don't always have to rely on myself to motivate myself, like, which is totally good to have self-determination, but it was fun having somebody else in the gym with me that like wanted it just as bad, like that pushed themselves just as much. And she even pushed me harder than I like normally push myself, because I was doing things I wasn't used to, and it was so fun. So having that type of person is so helpful, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but just know, like, if you need a workout buddy, it's not a sign of like defeat. It can be really helpful. And even if you like working out alone, it can be fun to add another person in every once in a while. It can really help push you. But I know like Planet Fitness is one that I've always gone to. I was always scared going to the other gyms. I'm like, cause you know, like growing up, I used to go, like, I went maybe like just a few times, maybe like 4 times to this gym that my dad went to. And it was like, you know, all the guys are like weightlifting and being like, ugh, you know, they're grunting. It's like, okay, do you really need to do that? Now, like working out more, I understand like sometimes that's like more of like a natural thing, or it's not like super weird, but like some people be so extra, like so extra. And I didn't really enjoy that type of environment. So I was like, oh, Planet Fitness, that's so cool. But then I realized like a bunch of people just be like walking to Planet Fitness and like taking a picture and then like walking out. Like there's some people in there that really be like working out and stuff like that, but at the same time they don't really have like all the equipment that I'm like necessarily like into now, I guess, if that makes sense. But they're still a really good gym. Like honestly, for someone starting out, I still definitely would recommend Planet Fitness, just because it's like cheap and I feel like it's not always like a bad vibe. It's not as intimidating of a vibe, even though I still felt like intimidation going in there. Even as someone who had like worked out so long, that's kind of like something that I wanted to get into, is like, I feel like I've always struggled with my confidence in the gym. Like, even though I love exercising, when it came to like actually going onto an exercise machine, I would like look at it and like I would like be the person that like walks by every single piece of equipment, and like it might look like I'm like, oh, like that one's full, I can't use that one, so let me think about something else to use. Or I just am like trying to choose which one I want, but literally I'm like looking at the pictures of like, okay, how do I use this thing? And I think that came from just being like not super dedicated to the gym. Like, I wanted to work out and like say that I work out, but I also was like so off and on with it. And then whenever I started hanging out with JJ more, like being around him, he ended up like inviting me to go to his gym back home with him, and I felt like it was like such an honor. He like went to school for exercise science, and he loves the gym, like being able to like release that like energy, like that part of him, like he gets in the zone. Like, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, he gets in his zone whenever he's at the gym. So the fact that he invited like me to come with him, I was like, oh, okay, say less. So like I went with him, and I remember he was like, you're so irritating to like try to talk to at the gym, because like I brought like a fun vibe, but he would like critique me on like my form, or like, I don't know, it was when I finally realized, I was like, okay, I am not as strong as I thought. And like, I'm not gonna lie, realizing that, like, okay, like I can't actually lift this much, and I thought that I should be able to lift this much. Like, that's whenever I really realized, I was like, man, like I really be thinking in my head, like I am this boss bitch, you know, like like I can carry all of this stuff. And then I was like, when I started actually doing like the workouts like that are good, like that JJ was showing me, I could like barely do anything. And it was because like my technique was literally so terrible. And so he really tried to help me with it, but I was like very hard-headed at first. I was like, okay, like I wasn't like, I know what I'm doing, but I was like, well, this doesn't feel right, and I don't know, like I should be able to lift more. Like, I would just like, instead of saying anything, I would just like glare at him and then just like do it. But it was just like, I wasn't like, oh, thanks, okay, let me try that. So like, I honestly do have to give a lot of credit to him though for like all of his help, and I'll get more into that, but this is just kind of like an overrun of like how my like workouts have evolved. Like, because now I go to this gym here in LA called 24 Hour Fitness. A lot of the gyms here, like, me and JJ tried finding like some really interesting or like cool ones, or like, you know, just like ones that you like walk in and you're like kind of like excited, like, I don't know, not necessarily like seeing like, I guess it is like the aesthetic can make a big difference, you know, like if you like the way your gym looks and like you enjoy the vibes, like that's a really big part of like going to the gym. So like I would say, like if you've tried going to the gym before and you've been like, oh no, that's not the vibe I'm looking for, or no, like I just like hate it so much, like maybe try out different ones, you know, or like, you know, do the free trials, or like go to the classes at first that they might have, like, because sometimes like that's just what you need. You just need a different aura around you, or a reason, like extra motivation if you already don't like working out. Like, okay, that extra motivation of like, oh man, like my gym's so cute, I can get like a little picture over here, and like, oh, this machine was like so fun, or, you know, like just something fun. Like, I don't know, I've always liked like gymnastics and stuff like that, and I've enjoyed like different, like weird different types of workouts where it's just more of like movement based versus like weightlifting. And anytime there's like different cool equipment for that, or like little, like, you know, the monkey bars, but it's like with attached to the squat rack, like, I don't know, it's just like makes it more fun because it's just something different. But yeah, I think like what I wanted to get into mostly is just like, you know, because I didn't have that confidence going into the gym all these times in the past, like I really only did what I knew how to do, and that was like growing up, I focused on abs, and then like of course you like want a booty, but like honestly I didn't even look into like how to get that. I was like, I'm just gonna do the stair stepper, I'm just gonna try to push myself on the stair stepper, and then I'm just gonna go grab a mat, and then I'm gonna do abs. And I would do that like every single time I went to the gym. I didn't work out like any other part of my body. I didn't switch it up. And then you just get bored, and also you realize like, I don't know, working out, you should never only work out one part of you. Like especially if you're going like very regularly, you really need like full body, or else it's really not like helping you that much, because then you have your a muscle imbalance, and then sometimes that can be really dangerous, especially if it's like muscle imbalance in your leg, different things like that. And so I don't know, I shouldn't have done it, and I think I realized that, and so then I would always like stop. But my thinking is I should have like researched more and tried to get into it more, where I felt comfortable doing other things, but I was just nervous. And so I would always try to look up like different YouTube videos and like Pinterest workouts, and I would literally be like on my phone watching them as I was doing the workout, like, and that just didn't make me feel like super confident. There's no problems with that, like if that's what you do, like that is not a bad thing at all. But I think I just struggled like with doing that. I was just kind of feeling like not as like productive, and I was like, I want to be like these people that walk in and they go put their backpack in their locker, they come out with their like water bottle, and like they have like their gym fits that that they got like a matching set, and they have like all of those in their closet, and then they go to the gym and they know exactly what they're doing. Like I wanted to be like that. And so like I think it was cool, like whenever JJ took me lifting, I really felt like, okay, like I knew that he was one of those people, and so like it was exciting to like do something different. Everything felt like new. And also it was like funny going to that gym back home too, because it was like the people weren't obnoxious like or anything like that, but it was just like funny going from like Planet Fitness to like this gym where there's not really any type of restrictions. So it's just like, people just be doing weird shit sometimes. It's just funny to watch. Sometimes it can be like kind of entertaining while you're doing your workout. But I remember like my arms were like jelly. I never really worked out my arms like with the actual workout. I just like used to like carry stuff at work. And I remember thinking too, like I can never change my body. I've always had like an athletic build, but like very thin. I never thought that I could be like super muscly or like, like be kind of thick or anything like that. And I think like I never focused either on like focusing on a specific muscle whenever I'm working out. Like I would just think like, okay, if I'm on this machine, it's automatically going to work out this part of me. But you have to learn like that's not the case. You have to be doing it with the correct form, and you have to be doing it correctly for it to actually work that part of you. And sometimes that's even like, to do that, sometimes you even have to just focus on that muscle of working that out. Like, okay, if I'm doing seated rows, okay, I need to be focusing on like holding like maybe like think about holding a pencil in between my back muscles and keeping those engaged the entire time, because like that's where I'm trying to work it out. And so I think like JJ really helped me with that, but I just remember being so terrible. I was very uneven with the bar whenever I would try to do like, when I would do like bench. Oh man. And I just remember like fighting JJ so much. But so kind of going like more into that of just like, how my mind changed, so I felt all those different types of ways, and they were like myths pretty much, but I viewed them as facts. And so when I started like working out with JJ, it helped me a lot. But then we ended up getting a membership at that gym together, like having like the little couple membership, which that was awesome. But then I realized like whenever he didn't go with me, I just felt like I was back into the same boat. That made me feel like so helpless. I was like, man, I wanted to be one of those girls that's kind of like, even if you're talking to somebody, it's like you still want to have that mindset of like, I don't need a man, It's like, oh, you love that person, but it's also at the same time like, oh, you want to be independent. And I'm very much that type of person where like in my head I want to think like that. And so like thinking about like how I felt like I needed him at the gym to feel like in a good mindset, it really frustrated me. And I just felt uncomfortable being at the gym because I still didn't feel like I knew what I was doing, because like I was at that point, I had been like relying on him to like let me know if my form was bad, or like, you know, tell me to do that like extra rep, like come on, you got it. So then that's whenever I was like, you know what, like I don't want to go back to how I was, so let me actually start looking up some more videos and asking JJ questions to where it's like, okay, he can actually explain something to me so I actually know, you know, like, and it's not that he wasn't doing that already, but like, you know, just sometimes you just need a little change in mindset to let that sink in. But then whenever we got to LA, I actually created like my own type of plan, and I think it's been like not 8 weeks yet, maybe 7 weeks, no, maybe 8. I think it's been like 8 weeks that I've done that plan now, where I have days Monday through Friday I work out, and I have specific days like plans that I created, which if that's something that you all want to see or that you're interested in, like let me know. I'll post those on my socials and kind of give you all the details of it. It's really nice. I do first day, Monday, I do leg day because that's what I'm trying to hit them. Like, you know, as a woman, you know, I'm trying to be thick. So definitely like Monday, leg day to get my mind right on a Monday. Just be like, okay, like I can't skip this day because this is what I want to work out the most. So Monday, leg day. Tuesday, I have back day. I have like, you know, larger boobs, and you know that makes your back always like curve a little bit, you know what I mean? I have such terrible posture. I think I just have terrible posture in general, but you know, boobs don't help. So I'm trying to get my back stronger so it can help my posture and also like help my back pain as well. And then Wednesday I do ab day and kind of just chill. Like I do it's kind of like it's not a rest day obviously because I'm still hitting the gym, but to me it's kind of like, you know, it's hump day. Wednesday's hump day. You're trying to get over that hurdle. So to me, I like kind of take it a little bit easy by doing abs because that's something that I feel so comfortable with since I've done it so often. Then Thursday, I have my arm day. I hate arm day so much, but also, you know, I like feeling strong, and I used to really rock climb like on the regular. Like, oh my gosh, that changed my body tremendously. And if anybody like is on the fence about doing that, like go do it. It's so fun. Honestly, I want to find a place here that's able to do it, but I just remember how expensive it was back home, so like I'm like kind of worried about looking it up here. But it was like such a good time. I did indoor rock climbing, obviously. I only went outdoor one time, and it was still a really amazing time. Like that type of feeling of like being up on like the big rocks and like being so high up, it's like you can't hear anything but like the breeze, like the wind, and like just nature, and it's so calm. And you're also like, you know, you made it up there like on your own, you know, like you literally pulled yourself up on this. So it's like, I don't know, it's just a really amazing feeling. So I don't know, go be active and try rock climbing. It's so fun. But pretty much like I just kind of wanted to give my, I forgot about Friday. Gosh, see my brain. But Friday I do a booty day. So it's like similar to leg day, but I try to focus more on like, you know, the ham hocks and things like that. So I can like, I don't know, gets that like little booty pump, and I don't know, it just makes me feel good that I'm really working on stuff. But anyways, like just some tips that I feel like have helped me, that I just wanted to like give with working out. And like obviously I still have so much more to overcome and such a long way to go before I like am gonna be like at exactly where I want to be at. But that's fine, you know, like I really want this to be like more of a lifestyle thing of just always movement. And you know, like that's not always gonna be me in the gym every single day either. Like I get very bored sometimes whenever I have like a strict routine. So, you know, like I think one good tip is like, you don't have to go to the gym every workout. There's some workouts that you can have where it can be just as helpful. You can do it at your house or go outside and do something. Like, you don't always have to be like using equipment and using like different weights and different stuff like that. Sometimes just your body weight is good enough. Maybe some resistance bands, like get a yoga mat, like try to switch it up a little bit. So don't let yourself get bored. Like, you don't have to do the exact same thing, and venture out. And the next tip is like make it your own. So like, I was following like a whole exact workout that like JJ did, and that's because like that's what I felt comfortable doing. That's what I was doing with him whenever we were going to the gym back at home. And so like, I just stuck with that. But I realized like it wasn't that it wasn't good for me, but it just like, it wasn't working out exactly everything that I felt like I wanted to work out. Like, you know, it wasn't tailored to me. And that's very important with your workouts, you know, like, you don't have to follow just because you like somebody's Instagram page or you like their TikToks or something like that and you like the way they look. That still doesn't even mean that you need to follow all their workouts the exact same way. You know, find what you feel comfortable doing and find what you feel like your body actually reacts to in a positive way. And that follows into the next tip of listening to your body. And that comes with so many different things, but like not only seeing how your body reacts to things, but also learning to push your limits. So you don't want to push yourself too terribly hard, but at the gym, like, I think it's so easy to think about how many reps you want to do and just like, okay, well, I'm going to do it like knowing like I'm going to put it out this way, knowing that I can accomplish it. You know, push yourself. Go up in your weight with the workout. You know, if you feel like your form's correct, go up. Like, if you got all 8 reps that week, go up and see how many reps. If you can continue to do 8, go up next week, you know? Different stuff like that, because like at the gym, you don't want to just be taking it easy just because you're like, I don't know, just because you're going regularly doesn't mean that you should take it easy and not try to push yourself, you know? Like, I feel like that's a good part of the gym is like, you push yourself physically and also it becomes a mental game as well, because you're pushing yourself to like not be lazy. You're telling yourself that you can't do something and then you overcome it. And I think that's really big. Sometimes that can give you confidence in like your day-to-day life, you know? And then also knowing that like you're not alone. Like one, like you go into the gym, like I remember going to the gym, like I said earlier, like thinking like everybody be knowing what they're doing and they all have their plans in their head and they go every day, I'm sure, and they're like, you know, they're all this and that and so much better than me. And like, let me tell you, like, I guarantee you, like, only like 1/3 of your gym be knowing actually what they're doing and are happy with their workouts and are really doing everything correctly. Like, and that's not to like come at anybody. It's just more of just like, you don't want to, I'm not trying to put people down, but it's just like, it's just somewhat like reality. Like sometimes when you look closer, you know, like that's just not how it is. And even if it is how it is, like that's okay. Just get yourself there as well. But like know that you're not alone and being like necessarily uncomfortable at the gym or feeling like you don't know what you're doing. You know, there's so many people there. And the important part is that you are pushing yourself and you're going, you know, that you're trying to get into it and you're trying to be healthier and you're trying to make yourself better. Cause like, I think that's the most important part. Like just try to work on making yourself better, being the best you that you can be. And then I think the next thing is like trial and error. You just like, you're never going to know if you like a workout or if your body reacts well if you don't try it. So just because you try it one week does not mean that you have to consistently do it every time. But just do trial and error. See what you like and see what you don't like. And stay consistent. That is like the biggest thing just in life is consistency. But like if you create this routine and you make something a routine and then you get out of it, you're going to have to make that a routine again. Like you're going to have to make it a habit again in your life. So once you get to those points where like you've stayed consistent, don't let yourself get into another slump. Like work so hard on trying to keep those habits, those positive and good habits. And then also be patient with results. You know, it really varies with everybody. So if you're one of those people, like I talked at the beginning, that has like a dream weight, whether you're trying to bulk or whether you're trying to slim down, whatever you're trying to do, like just remember that these things are not going to happen overnight, and they're not even going to happen in a month, most likely not your dream. So, you just got to be patient with it and stick with it and realize that like you have to look at every small victory. So, the end goal might be like that finish line to you, but just know that like this is a whole journey and you should enjoy the process too, And now I'm realizing that I actually spent a lot of time talking about working out. I thought I was gonna end up kind of like covering that really like quickly and getting into the next topic that I wanted to talk about that's like just as important as like the physical aspect of working out, and that's going to be nutrition. What you're using to fuel your body, and like what you're putting in yourself, you know what I mean? Like that food is a huge part of how your body reacts, and not only like how it reacts to your workouts, but also just in general, like how you feel. And because it's like such a big part, I don't want to rush into it because it can be kind of like a big topic for some people, Sometimes it's hard having like a healthy view on food. So I think I'll choose to talk more on that in another episode in the future, and just kind of leave like my workout journey and those tips with you in this episode. But I really hope that y'all enjoyed it. I hope it's able to help at least one of y'all out there. And, if you do want to hear like those specific workout routines that I have, or you want to hear more, I don't know, just if you have anything to say about the topic in general, or if you have any tips for me, like send them over to me. I want to hear. But thank you all so much for listening this week. I hope that you had a great week, and let this be your sign to get in the gym. Go hit it and, feel confident. Be that boss bitch, you know what I mean? So thank y'all for listening, and I will see you next time on DMP.